Well, as the news was breaking today that Hunter Biden will plead or has pleaded guilty to misdemeanor tax charges, former President Trump sent out this message on Truth Social. Wow, the corrupt Biden DOJ just cleared up hundreds of years of criminal liability by giving Hunter Biden a mere traffic ticket. Our system is broken. Here with their reactions to the plea deal between the Biden legal team and the DOJ is former FBI agent and attorney Bobby Chacon and former congressman from Georgia and colonel in the U.S. Air Force Reserves, Doug Collins. Great to have you both with us. Doug, I want to start with you here. What do you think is the reasoning behind this? Is the DOJ trying to protect Hunter by giving him this slap on the wrist?
I think one of the things you got to look at here is this has been a 5-year investigation. This is all they come up with. I mean, really, I think there's a problem here. It doesn't answer the questions that need to be asked. Like, where did the money come from? Was there connections to other parts of the family? This actually gets it off their table, but they did leave a slight opening, and we've talked about this a little bit, is that they have said that they're continuing other investigations. My question is did they try to clean up the Hunter Biden mess with basically you and I would never get this kind of a deal and still hold on to the fact that they're, quote, investigating other things to stymie a little bit of the congressional oversight here?
In other words, when James Comer's committee asks them for information, the DOJ says, sorry, this is an ongoing investigation and we can't help you right now. We're looking into it.
Yeah, definitely. That's the problematic here. When you see this sort of what would be termed a sweetheart deal, when you see this, also, then to stymie what may be congressional oversight. But then there's one thing here that really bothers me. For all the bluster from the Biden administration about gun control and everything else, you give this with a pretrial diversion, which would wipe it off the list. I don't want to hear I'm getting tough on guns anymore.
Bobby, let me ask you about this. The gun case was based upon his admission in a book that he was using drugs, and he was on drugs, so he should not have filled out the paperwork to buy a gun saying he was drug-free. Why is he not charged with the use of drugs since he's already admitting it?
That's a good question. And, the way the prosecution handles this, there's several ways you can charge somebody, an information and a complaint or an indictment. The route they took is the least transparent possible. And so what you're referring to is what we used to call lying and buying. He lies on an ATF form. That's a federal felony by an admitted drug user. Why he's not charged with a felony in this process is beyond me. There's a lack of transparency in the way they carry this out. The first thing the court's hearing about it is when the prosecutor's saying, Judge, we have a deal in place. Here are the charges. Here's the deal. And the judge simply has to rubber stamp this. It's the legal equivalent of there's nothing to see here. In my opinion, the way we used to operate, and we had somebody like Hunter Biden, we would actually use it as leverage. We're going to charge you with felonies, with multiple felonies, unless you come to the table and cooperate with us. And in this case, they seem to have taken the opposite tact. I can tell you that a young Kamala Harris, as a prosecutor who we had here years ago in California, would have been very tough on a young person of color if Hunter Biden was that. Kamala Harris would have filed multiple felonies against a person like this in a similar situation.
Bobby, do you anticipate that Hunter Biden will actually have any real repercussions from this? I mean, we're assuming no jail time. Are there going to be fines? Is he actually going to have any consequences to his illegal actions?
No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like they've given him the easiest possible way out. He's not even charged with the gun crime. They're actually diverting it, and if he adheres to the program that they're going to put him in, then the charges simply go away, and forever those charges will not be on his record. They will not be seen as a charge. If 5 years from now you do an investigation of him and look back, they won't even show up. So he's not even being charged with this stuff when these are potential federal felonies.
Yep. Doug, final thought?
I think, it just goes to the simple fact, if you're a Biden, this DOJ is your best friend. And I think it just solidifies the fact that most Americans would not be treated this way in a similar situation with a similar circumstance. I'm not trying to say, but you just look at the facts, the amount of money here, the drug use, the crimes, the prostitution, everything else here, and then to just try and sweep it out with this, most people are just saying, I don't buy this. And there's criminal defense attorneys all across the country saying, this ain't right.
Bobby Chacon, Doug Collins, thank you, gentlemen.